Speaking of Brady, in a game that he's dominated, 7-3 throughout his career, 10 Super Bowls, 7 wins, man. We got the Super Bowl, man. We got LA. We're at SoFi Stadium. You know it's SoFi because that stadium is SoFi. And we got Matt
Hollywood.
We've got Odell Beckham Jr. We've got Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp,
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg,
Jay-Z,
according to Jude. You know?
Jay-Z's got the iPod hooked up. We got Joe. Hold on. I can't talk about
Throw him on.
We got Joe Cool, baby. Jamar Chase.
You mean Joe Brr. Joe Brr. That's who the fuck he is. He's Joe Brr. That boy cold, man.
Yeah, we got Joe.
You do.
And Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor, former Rams assistant, Yeah,
so we got a Super Bowl, man. And there's so many angles that we can go with this. We didn't really get to cap the championship games last week. We're not going to this week. We're going to preview the Super Bowl. So let's start with the Rams defensively. The Rams have a great front four, and they can get home with 4, and the Bengals have a terrible offensive line. I mean, god awful. So I'm interested to see how Raheem's going to dial it up. Because the Chiefs could not get home to save their lives. I heard a stat today that the Rams have only given up 18% of their third down conversions on defense. And the Chiefs, third down is like their money down, baby. So not the Chiefs, excuse me, the Bengals. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. That front four versus that terrible O-line. How they're going to cover the receivers. Is Jalen Ramsey going to lock up with Jamar Chase, or is he going to take away T. Higgins and we're going to double Chase and see if Tyler Boyd can step up? I'm excited, man, but what do you see happening for the Rams defensively?
Defensively, I think the biggest thing, and this is just from an analytics and just a pure watching standpoint, they're going to have to, even though, like you just said, for the Bengals, third down is their money down. Let's make it third and long every time, limiting the run game. If Mixon is getting stuff behind that line, first down they run and it's a loss of 1. So now you're 2nd and 11. Joe throws a short pass. Maybe then he gets 3 yards or something. Jamar catches it and, he's wrapped up by Jalen. Now you're looking at 3rd and 8. So I think that making that third down always third and long is going to be key. Don't ever give them a short third down. And even though we're talking about arguably the most explosive offense in the NFL this season, I think that they did have more explosive plays, which I guess counts as, I think, 25 yards or greater, something 30, it's something like that. They've had more than anyone in the NFL this year. And so even though they are known for their big plays, the Rams certainly, outside of that Mike Evans touchdown, where I don't know what the fuck they were doing when Brady threw that to where you let him get that open. But outside of something like that, characteristically, you're not seeing that out of a Rams defense. They got old man Weddle back there too now. And who knows, maybe that could have been a part of that. I don't know. But you got old man Weddle there. I just think that defense is stout. And we know that if there's one thing that Raheem Morris is going to do, he's going to have a plan. And more Falcons references. But I do think that the defense they're going to show up, man. Von Miller, he lives for this. He is a Super Bowl MVP. We're not just talking about somebody that was in the game and that won the game and was a big part. No. This man was the best player in one of these games. And so you've got him. You got Aaron Donald, who's had the disappointment of playing in one and not winning it. You've got Sean McVay, wonder kid, You get this not real home field advantage because, hell, it seemed like there's more 49ers fans at that NFC Championship game. But
the Rams don't have real fans, let's be honest.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, so it's just going to be a mix of whatever.
Yeah, it's corporate.
It's going to be all the rich people that have money. And so, I think that the defense is going to be able to limit them and come out, man, and put pressure on Burrow. If the Titans can get 9 – Why can't the Rams repeat that performance? And I understand everybody's like, yeah, the Titans got 9, but they lost the game. But we look on the other side of the ball, certainly the Rams offense is a lot better than that Titans offense. So
you talked about McVay and you talked about Raheem. And I think that's where the game is really going to be decided. We're going to talking about coaching. Sean McVay getting undressed by Bill Belichick in his first Super Bowl, and that even carrying into the following season with that offense not being as productive as it was, as they would like for it to be, and resulted in the end of Jared Goff's career as a productive quarterback in the NFL. And McVay realized, hey, I might be smart, but I got to get better. Like my players I got to get better players to win the biggest games. So, what do you think? How much do you think McVay's experience and even Raheem's experience, down in Tampa, being a part of that Super Bowl coaching staff, is going to have on this team, man? Like Zach Taylor has no experience.
Well, aside from when he was an assistant the year they went the first time with McVay.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing.
He doesn't have legitimate coaching experience.
No,
because even Raheem, along with Tampa, obviously he was on the Falcons staff when we went. So Raheem's been in a couple Super Bowls anyways, right? So I do think that it's going to make a big difference. I mean, that is what we're looking at in general. Aside from Matt Stafford, a lot of those Rams players are still there from that team. Tyler Higbee, like there are many players that were on that team. Can you imagine if the Rams still had fucking Robert Woods too? Oh my goodness, because he got hurt this year. But nonetheless, it's going to be very few Rams players that don't even have that experience themselves, along with the staff. Everybody has got that experience, and I think that that's going to be a big advantage for them. I mean, they've prepared for this game before. They know how it can be a little different than just any normal game, and then especially that stinker that the Rams did do the first time around, they're going to learn from that. And, Sean McVay certainly didn't forget. He knows now situationally, because that game was close basically until the last 5 minutes. That game was like fucking tied. So, like, that game was very close the entire game the last time they were in it. And you're going against somebody that, big game Burrow. At the end of the day, college still ain't NFL. And even though he's won some big games now in the playoffs, he still hasn't had to go through that grinder as far as I'm concerned. You played a Raiders team that was, for lack of a better word, sinking going into the playoffs. They were sinking. Then your next game, you play a Titans team that has
9 sacks and they lose.
Well, but I'm talking offensively even. You're playing a Titans team that's got at best, an average quarterback, old, washed-up Julio, and a hurt Derrick Henry returning from injury, a guy that hadn't played football in, 3 months. So I just think that – and then you played the Chiefs, who granted have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. At the end of the day, that's still a team that secondary might have been one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. So there was a flawed football team that you played. This is a Rams team that's pretty much complete on all 3 levels and all 3 units, all the way around. It's a team that doesn't beat themselves unless Matt Stafford does it. But outside of that, nobody else is going to beat themselves on that team.